Good morning, good people. Not too shabby. Okay, good morning. Today is Monday, May 27th, 2024. It's about 6 o'clock, 6:01 in the morning. This is Memorial Day. Good morning, Mitch. Good morning. Here we are, Department of Career Services. Good morning, Wadabevi. Seems beautiful Memorial Day. So we still have class. Basic idea to spread Mitch is that we close when the prisons close. Otherwise, we're here at it. And there is Matt. So we've got 3 of the Fab 5, the Fabulous 5. So today is the start of week 2 of our neuroscience-oriented approach to success inside our skull-sized kingdom. What we learned here is how our brain works in a very, very simplistic way. So we focus on 3 areas: our neurons, neurotransmitters, and our reticular activating system. And we see how those help us answer the question, who am I and why do I behave as I do? So today we start with neurons, as Yuval Harari calls them. Neurons, it's a certain type of cell in our brain. Up until maybe 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, the idea was we have about 100 billion neurons, 100 billion neurons in our brains. And then a professor, Susanna Herculano, came up with a new technique to measure, to count neurons. Brilliant, simple but brilliant. And so it looks like humans have about 86 billion neurons. And I think there's 16 billion, 18 billion in our prefrontal cortex. This becomes important when you factor it in with Yuval Harari of how humans are the only animals that are able to create stories. Okay, so for our purposes today, we learn about neurons and what are in them, what's in our neurons. And we know this pretty well. We all know this. We don't need scientists to tell us this. But fundamentally, what is stored in our neurons is our lived past, also known as memories, our anticipated future, our ability to simulate our personality, things like that are stored in our neurons. How do we know they're stored in our neurons? How do we know that our lived past is stored in our neurons? How do we know it's not in our heart, as so many people believe? How do we know it's not in our wrist? Muscle memory. My wrist has the memory. No. Okay, how do we know that this is stored in our brain? And the simple answer, well, let's start with, how do we know it's not in our heart? Because when people get heart transplants, they don't become someone else. Mic drop. Okay, how do we know it's in our brain? Because if we damage our brain, if we have a stroke, things like our lived past, our ability to simulate, our anticipated future, things like that all disappear, in addition to mobility and stuff like that. So these things are stored in our brain, and the neurons in our brain, that's where they are stored. Tomorrow we're going to talk about neurotransmitters, because that is where our feelings come from. So if you take all animals have a neurotransmitter system that gets them to do things. So you don't have to think, just chemicals are released and boom, we act. So fear, hunger, desire for sex, all of those things are Our feelings are the result of neurotransmitters, the release of neurotransmitters. Again, how do we know that? How do we, as mere mortals, know that neurotransmitters are responsible for our feelings? Well, the simplest way is when we are in a coma and we're not releasing those, we don't have any feelings. Okay, so that's it. And then on Wednesday, we go to the reticular activating system, which is a bundle of neurons about the size of our little finger at the top of our brain stem. So the part of our body that connects our spinal cord and our brain, or you could say it's the part of our brain that is attached to our spinal cord. So all of the sensations that we have come into our brain through the brainstem. Our eyes, ears, nose, taste, all of that, they're not connected to our brain, they're connected to our brain stem. Now, my understanding is part of the eye is connected to the brain, but that has to do with being able to focus, because it takes a lot of brain power to, say, be running and catch a baseball, be able to keep focus on that ball. It's not bouncing up and down as we're running. We have the ability, processing power, tremendous amounts of processing power. Can't do it with cameras. So try running down the street with a camera. If you can't keep it level, if it's going with your body, or say it's attached to your shoulder and you're running, the picture is going to be like that. But for our eyes, when we're running down the road, we're able to focus on a particular place. It takes a lot of brain power. But other than that, our senses are attached to our brainstem, to our reticular activating system. And we'll hear on Wednesday, there's about 400 billion bits of information that come in through our reticular activating system into our brain every second. Way too much information for us to hold and process. So the reticular activating system acts like a filter to only let in the things that are important to us at that time. But it's constantly scanning all information available to us to support our belief. So the easiest example of that is our name. So when people say our name, it gets our attention. And we've all experienced being in a crowded room or in an airport or something like that. And there's a lot of chatter going on, but as soon as our name is mentioned, we hear it automatically. Why? Because our reticular activating system lets it in. So the idea is, if you know how the neurons, neurotransmitters, and reticular activating system work, you can program them. You can program them to help you create better habits. How's that? You can program them to create better habits. You can program them to attach to your vision of the future. Okay, so if the idea is, and this is where these dream boards come in, right? Because you create a dream board, and fundamentally, what is a dream board, vision board? What is that? It's a representation of what you believe are important things, right? And as you're building it, you're burning that into your brain as, this is what I want, this is important to me, this, or this is bad. So what happens is you're programming your RAS. Thus, when one of those things pops up into your consciousness, or not consciousness, you're able to, your senses can recognize it. Once the thing on your vision board comes into your field of possible awareness, you notice it. So it could be a bumper sticker that's important to you. You're not looking for the bumper sticker, so it's not in your field of consciousness, but it's in your field of potential consciousness. Your eyes see it, your brain says, hey, I recognize that, that's important to me, and it comes in, you notice it. Boom. So by controlling what's in our neurons, our beliefs, so for the release of neurotransmitters, and programming our reticular activating system, we can kind of dial in who we need to be. So that is this week. Now let's see what's going on. Okay, Rebecca, Carla, Matt. Let's see, Carla. Wadabevi, reminder of our higher desires. Okay, good. All right, so that's this week. Today is Sebastian's song, really breaking down how the neurons work and the theory of what's behind them. I have had email exchanges years ago with Sebastian Song. Maybe I'll send him a follow-up. Okay, let's see. Other news. Today is Monday, but we do have school. We have class. So we'll focus on that. If you finish with Sebastian's song, there's another video. Let's see. How do I get to that? Let's see if I can get back to it quickly. History. I can share that I sent to Sophie. We don't care about that. So I'm going to text this to Mitch. Got another ad here. Skip. Share. Copy. Text. Okay, then I sent to Sophie this morning that she put a happy face on. Let's see. Sorry, people. Okay, so I think I sent it out there. Let's just check. Yep. Okay, good. So this would be the second one. It's kind of long, but people should watch it on their own. It is called Yoda's Wisdom, Buddhist Lessons from a Jedi Master. Aha. Buddhist Lessons from a Jedi Master. And I think that has some insight in it for all of us. Okay, so we have kind of a big day today. Got to get stuff done. My hunch is that you do not have IOP. Is that correct? Mitch, is that correct? Or Rebecca, you should not have IOP because they don't work on holidays because they have to get extra pay. Okay, how would Carla know there's no IOP? She's not in it. But is that correct? Is Carla correct that there is no IOP today? So if there's no IOP, we need to figure out what to do. Mitch, is Tony back, or when does Tony get back? Let's talk about that. Okay, correct. So we've got 3 people saying we don't have IOP. And when's the last time we did a double scrub? I asked Amara. Okay, good. All right, good. I forgot about Amora. I hope she's doing well. Bump, 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 bump. Okay, does anybody have any other things? Otherwise, we'll wrap it up so people can get ready to do things. I would highly recommend everybody independently watch the video while you're just getting ready to go for the next hour, right? I think you guys leave at about 7:15. Yes. The Army, tell Amy I say hi. Okay. She said she is doing well. Okay. Sophie says hello to Amy. Okay. Carla, see you later. All right, everyone. So a couple big things to repeat. Week 2, day 1, week 2, day 1, week 2, neuroscience-oriented approach to success inside my school-sized kingdom. We're starting to learn how our brain works. Okay, and the idea is if we know how our brain works and we can control it, then that helps answer the questions, who am I and why do I behave the way I do? And who am I? I am the sum of my beliefs. That's it. I am who I believe I am. And if I know how to change who I am, I can create a better or dial in a better version of myself. Okay, we are cleaning at 9:30. Okay, not a bad idea. Terrific. And let's see. Okay, I can't think of anything else right now. Thank you, people, for being there. Great job. Everybody's developing a new good routine. And you're probably at the stage, maybe not for Matt, but for the rest of you, you're at the stage if you don't watch this video anymore, you kind of feel like something doesn't feel right. So I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. So, okay, everyone, again, thank you. Namaste. Just covering my bases. Oh, let's see. Three Stooges. Okay, bye.